This is your one and only 𝐈𝐸𝐻81 with your daily dose of video goodness, and today I'm going to tell you how to quickly and easily beat the Elementalist in V Rising. Let's get to it. For this setup, I will be slightly under leveled than what we need to be in order to fight her. She comes in at level 64, and you can see our current gear level is 61, but we are still able to quickly and easily beat her with this setup. So we are using the Merciless Hollow Fang set. We are using the Misty Necklace, the Hunter's Cloak, the General's Soul Reaper. It's also a good idea to use Fire Resistance Brew for this fight because she does light you on fire a lot. She also freezes you, but we don't really have a frost resistance. So obviously Fire Resistance is the one we're going to use because it's what we have. If you have Brew of Ferocity and Enchanting Brews, you want to use those as well, or if you have Potion of Rage and the Witch's Potion, you should use those instead of their lesser versions. For our abilities, we are going to be using the Veil of Illusion. This is because it allows us to backpedal to where we were when we first cast the spell. She casts like crazy and casts a lot of different things, and being able to jump from one spot back to another is really helpful for dodging a majority of her abilities, and we'll talk about that during the fight. For our attacks, we are using Chaos Volley and Chaos Barrier. For our ultimate, use whatever ultimate you want. I'm not going to be using one in this fight because you don't really need one. Both of these abilities here are going to kill her really fast. For our blood type, we want 100% Scholar Blood. I know you all are probably like, Fire, do you use anything else besides 100% Scholar to fight these bosses? And yes, I am working on a boss guide where we do actually make use of Rogue Blood because it is a better option for the fight than the Scholar Blood, and that guide will come out at some point. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to see what that's all about. But for this fight, Scholar Blood is the way to go. With 100% Scholar Blood, we get a 15% cooldown reduction, and with using this necklace, it gives us another 15%, giving us a total of 30% cooldown reduction. On top of that, we have a really high chance to cast for free, Spell Life Leech, and increase spell power, and it just allows us to cast spells like freaking crazy. With these two spells, we can constantly bombard her with Chaos Volley, and then this essentially just shoots a Chaos Volley back at them when you get hit with stuff, and she fires a lot of projectiles rapidly, so it's really easy to just fire a bunch of things back at her really quickly, doing a ton of damage. Now, I tried a bunch of different setups, some setups where you could focus more on dodging her abilities and stuff like that, but honestly, the faster you can beat her, the better, and this is the fastest setup I found to beat her. You will just trash her with this setup. So, with that said, let's get to the fight, and let's talk about the fight. So I run in and immediately hit her with a Chaos Volley right from the get-go, and she uses one of her first abilities, which is this spinning fire arrow of death thing. And then you can see that I quickly proc the shield and fire a bunch of shots back at her, and already have burst her down a ton. When she uses this ball ability, this ball lightning ability, just move in a circle. It's really easy to dodge it once you realize all you have to do is move in a circle. This is a really fast-paced fight, so get ready to move fast and be ready to dodge fast.
Back to hell.
When you hear her say back to hell with you, run away from her as far as you can get. She's going to do a very large AoE that's going to put you in this bubble, and it does a decent amount of damage as well, and it shuts you down for a minute. But luckily, she gives you a really nice audio cue there and gives you plenty of time to run from her. The 3-shot ice spear thingy that she does there is one of the easiest ways to get a ton of damage back on her. She doesn't really give you a cue when she's going to do it, but there is a tiny bit of a wind up there where it could be the triple or the single one. Either way, you can be ready for it when you see her do that little bit of wind up there, and just sit there, proc the shield, and let her do a bunch of damage to herself. When she yells burn, she's going to do the giant spinning arrow of death and doom thing. The easiest way I found to deal with this is to get a distance from it, and you can actually walk between the arrows. And you can also run with it while you have the shield up and do a bunch of damage to her, because it will just reflect all of that damage back to her. It's a little iffy to do that and a little challenging, but it is doable. I personally find it easier to just dodge the attacks from it. After she hits a certain percentage of her health threshold, she will start to duplicate herself. The duplicate takes more damage than she does, and you want to remove the duplicate as quickly as possible. Focus all of your chaos volley bolts onto the duplicate and bring it down quickly. It has almost all of her attacks. The only attack that I see that it is missing is the attack where she puts a shield on herself and creates a giant rolling around fireball. She gives an audio cue when she is going to do that. She says, "I will end you," and then you cannot damage her. She ends up with an absolute massive shield. One easy way to deal with this is just keep moving and move around her. The arrows that the fireball fires will actually hit her, and you can use her as a shield to block damage from the arrows. If you do this for too long, it will charge towards her and charge towards you, closing the gap and removing her as a shield, but you can just put a little bit of distance between you and it, and then just run around to the other side of her and just continue using her as a shield. You can also see here that when I do this, I make use of our Dash's return ability to confuse the fireball. It's a really handy ability for this fight. And that's it. And then she's down. As you can see, the fight is not too bad. I got hit a few times there, but I did not lose a ton of health in the process. We gained a bunch of health back from being hit due to having that 100% scholar blood. I'm not gonna lie, the fight gets a little crazy and a little chaotic at times. If worse comes to worse, you can run out of the arena and reset the fight, bring some health pots with you, take time, heal up, and then jump back into it and give it another go if you get too low. But overall, with this setup, the fight isn't too bad. So hopefully you found this video helpful and informational. If you did, consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload other videos. And I want to give an absolute massive shout out and thank you to my supporters on Patreon and my channel members for helping to keep these videos sponsor free. You all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to join my Elite Crew Patreon supporters, please check out the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and show your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.